In this video, what I would like to do is wrap up what we're doing with the bass lines and move away from what we were doing with in the content library about the in the Unit 2 composing synth bass parts. And now what I want to do is have a look. I've got this in my worksheets. I think that this is in your whole folder. But I just want to go back to what we were looking at for the bass lines here. And some aspects about the music that we heard in the website was quite interesting. So I'm going to flip to now the website. Okay, so if you wanted to learn this or go to the website and listen to these songs and such, again, just type in learningmusic.com.ableton yeah, there it is. Okay, so I'm on the bass part, bass lines here, and I'm on Good Life. What I want to do is this. This is a classic idea for a bass line. And basically all this is you've got a note, and then you've got two notes beyond that that are quiet or that aren't notes at all. And then another note, and then two notes that are quiet. Another note, and two notes that are quiet. It's a three pattern, isn't it? So watch this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and they just keep up with this pattern, don't they? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Now they sort of break it here, but that's what I'll get to that in a second. And then they go back into this idea of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and it's just this bass idea. You probably have heard this a lot of times within modern music. So all I want to do is this. Within Ableton, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this idea and I'm just going to play with it now. So all I've done is, I think, no, sorry, it was a blank clip. So within this, you're going to have to pause the video, double click like this, and put in a blank clip. I think that my clip is, yeah, it's 2 bars. So what you're going to have to do is in your blank clip, is you're going to have to click on now the duplicate loop, and make sure that you have not just 1 bar here, but 2 bars as well. Okay, so I'll go back to my idea. So all of my notes now are going to be using this like 3 pattern. So again, 1, 2 is blank, and 3 is blank. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you can just see all I'm doing is just putting a note on every third one. So 1, 2, 3, like that, 1, 2, 3, and I'm just going on and on and on and on and on until the very, very end. Now, at the very end, you'll notice that you can't put a third one on there, which is just fine. It'll just loop all the way back to the beginning and then play that. So that is going to be this like use of these 3 notes. It's called like a bi-on rhythm. You probably have heard this many times. So yeah, that's one idea that you can do. I want to, however, go back to this this bass line here. And my idea that I'm going to use now is I'm going to sort of steal their arrangement of this. And what I'm going to do is sort of play around with what they've done with moving these notes around. So as you can see, this is quite dull. It's on 1 note. It's not really going to be doing much at all. However, on this, now notice how it's the exact same thing, isn't it? The exact same thing. So what you should do is this. Now notice how I've got an extra track there. So again, this is what yours may look like. You probably have this idea in there. I'm not going to ask you to do this again and then duplicate it. Why don't you just hold down Alt and move this one down, right? So now what I'm going to do is this. Sorry, let me just get rid of this because this is what it's going to look like. It's like this. There we go. So within this, all I'm going to do now is go back into this. Their first 3 notes were on B. That's the key that they're in. I'm in the key of C, or we are in the key of C. So leave this one where it is. After 3 notes, let's move that one down. How many notes? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. So move them down by 4. So after those 3 notes, move them down by 4. How many notes? Just 2 of them. So get these 2 and move them down by 4 notes. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, on the white notes. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, and then 4, like that. All right. So that's those 2 notes. Now, these next 3, so these next 3 here, are going to be now a step lower, so B to A. Now, within this, I'm going to sort of cheat a little bit. I know that you're going to say, put it here. Let's cheat on this, and let's put this now here on the A sharp or B flat. And then finally, you've got these notes that are going to move down these last three are going to move down to the E. So if you now move this down, I'm going to now move these down just like this and move these down, I think, to about here. Now, you can keep this the way it is if you want to, or as you can see that they've gone back up to the C, and I quite like that. So what I might do is I might move this one now back up to my C, like this. And then you've got this bass line. The other idea that you can do, you're more than welcome to just take this idea. Be aware that they haven't used this 3 pattern in here, and also so these last 2 notes of that aren't using this 3 pattern, but you're more than welcome just to go back and forth within this. So that's the idea that I've got for that. Now, the next part of it is this. I want to now go back into the idea of these octaves. Okay, so I'm going to now have a look at doing this 3 pattern, but as you can see, if I fold this down, you can see now that I've got a note and then 2 blank ones. Now, rather than this one being on the one below that, I move this up by an octave. So to do this, all you have to do is unfold your track, and again, your note, I think, is all on one note, isn't it? Sorry, let me just move this one down like that. Your note is all on one note, so your note will be something like this. All you have to do is just highlight that note, hold down Shift, and then move up. And I would move this one every other note, like that. So that's now using this whole 8th note pattern. Now, one thing I do want to go back into as well within this is Around the World. This is A, a great song, and B, the bass line is quite interesting. Why? Because look at all this silence at the beginning. Now, this brings up a really, really good point about this rhythm, which is this. You could even go one step further with this, and I'll just move over. I'll move over my bass line from the octave one, and I'll just hold down Alt and move this one over. So this is just your example, and I won't include this one in your template, which is now this one here. What I'm going to do now is this. This bottom triangle is my start, and I can now, if I wanted to, alter where this clip is going to start. So I wonder if I can just mute. Let me solo this out. Yeah. So now let me just turn this volume down so you don't get blown away by it. But can you see that by hitting the playhead, it's starting here rather than starting here? So this is sort of like introducing this new like rhythmic idea, or introducing some silence at the start. You don't have to go up to there. You can move this here if you wanted to. You can move this all the way down to 1.2. Maybe even move it to 1.3 if you wanted to. Perfectly up to you, but just be aware that you've got this silence in the start. I mean, what you could even do is get rid of one of your notes like this, couldn't you? And it could start from 1.3 onwards. I don't know how this is going to sound. It could sound great. It could sound horrible. I just don't know. Okay, so I want to now have a look at where we're at now. Oh yes, I don't want to leave this rhythm just yet. Okay, so I've now copied down my octaves from this down into this clip here. So again, hold down Alt and just drag it down. You're now going to see these as octaves. Now, this one is a little bit different, so follow me on this. What we're going to do is right-click inside of the grid, and I'm not going to choose now 16th, because that's what we've been working with. I want to now choose 8th note, like that. So 8th notes, can you guys see that, if I now pull this one out more, that I have this grid. So 1 is here, 2 is there, and 3 is there. So now the same thing goes. Get rid of, I'm just going to get rid of so that we have a clear thing to look at. I'm going to get rid of all these. And I'm just now going to do this thing, this 3, on the grid of an 8th note. So 1, 2, 3, put one in. 1, 2, 3, put one in. 1, 2, 3, put one in. And you can sort of see where this is going like that. There. So this is 8th notes, and again, that's going to be this grid here. Be aware that your previous ones should have a 16th on there. And again, notice how that on this 8th note here, I've got 2 bars, but you're more than welcome if you wanted to duplicate that now, and you've got now 4 bars. Now this brings up an interesting point. Could you now move this here around? So now you're going to continue with this whole 3 note pattern if you want to. And again, with this, you can move it up by the octaves, you can have passing notes, you can have long notes, short notes, totally up to you. Last one I want to do is this. Now, just so that you're aware, I've moved this all on C down here, I've gotten rid of all of my notes except for my first one, and I just duplicated it. A really quick way of doing this is to hold down B or click on B. You notice that my mouse will turn into a pencil, and then you can just draw these if you want to. Again, be aware that my grid is on 16, it's not on 8. Okay, so this one's a bit different. Now let me go into this again, and this Oblivion song, this bass line is a common bass line that you'll find as well. Notice how this one doesn't have this 3 pattern. It has notes on every single one of these grids, yeah? So every single one of these will have a note on them. So I've done the exact same thing with mine. However, now what I'm going to do is this. Let me just zoom out a bit. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to play around now with this idea and just follow this now down to a T. These 2 notes are on D. Now be aware that we're in the key of C. So what I'm going to do now is my 3rd note, which is this one here, is going to be up by the octave. As you can see here, D and a D. This one is going to be in my 5th. So I'll move this one now to my 5th one, which will be G. Don't forget that we're in the key of C. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then what you can do is just keep moving this one down. So 1, 2, move this one maybe over to your 3rd, and follow this pattern down. So what is that? Now the 5th one goes up here. You can just keep doing that on and on and on if you wanted to. All right, I hope that makes sense. Please let me know if there's any questions at all.